got from his grandfather. So it's like an oral tradition. So I think that was really good. I'm really glad they included that aspect to the story. And they talked about how the gathering and the children of Tituba are like appropriating their language, and they talk about how like their language, the Wampanoag like language, has been like erased for like 150 years, except for like written because of like a Bible that was made, and like this whole like small discourse on colonization. I just thought it was an excellent thing to include.
Yeah, this is something that Supernatural is missing.
Yeah, like you can appreciate cultures and you can tell those stories, but you need to include this aspect of it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we're gonna wrap up with some screenshots.
I think I had a couple things I wanted to say just about like the series in general. Oh, I can do that now?
Yeah, go ahead. I will pull up my screenshots while you were talking.
Oh, okay, cool. I really loved the whole concept of like a town where weird stuff is happening, because that's basically what my book is about.
Yes.
It was really cool to like have this as a reference, just like for me personally, and it was so good.
So on the 17th, which is like episode 8 came out, I was talking to Meredith, and I said, Anne and Thomas like kind of confirmed though. Meredith wasn't into it.
Yep.
And I was like, no wonder Jeremy's mom doesn't like her though. And then we talked about the show a little bit more, and I was like, I'm still feeling kind of sus about Thomas and Anne. Like, I'm not saying that he fathered her daughter, but I'm just saying we don't know that he didn't.
I think I was saying something like, I hope it's not, but I can see that it probably will be.
I asked you, I'm like, do you remember them saying who Shelley's father was? And you were like, I don't think so. And I was like, well, we don't know it's not Thomas.
Like, at that point, I wasn't really clear that they were separated at that point. So I was just like, dude, don't cheat on your wife. That's gross. I don't care if it's plot relevant.
And I was like, well, in episode 7 the week before, I'm like, she called him my Thomas.
Yeah.
The way that she was talking about Jeremy's nightmares and stuff, I'm like, that felt sus.
Yeah. There was lots of internal groaning from me. But
on that same day, I tweeted, so we all agree now that Thomas and Anne were in a relationship of some sort, right? On the 20th, which was between episodes 8 and 9, Francis and I were talking, and I was like, so, Thomas and Anne, and Francis was like, 100%, no doubt about it. And I was like, I will be shocked if the Bradshaws weren't mid-divorce when Thomas went missing.
Well, turned out to be true.
Yeah. And then Francis was like, well, like, why wouldn't she want them to keep investigating? And then we talked a little bit more about Freetown Forest and stuff.
I think most of ours were just screaming back and forth about being angry at Jeremy.
Probably. Okay, so the last episode came out on October 1st, and on September 30th, I texted Julia, and I said, okay, so it's recorded somewhere. Here's my theory. The last thing that's gonna happen is Thomas coming from somewhere, still the same age he was 40 years ago. Jeremy says, Dad, boom, roll credits. Possibly he emerges during another intense cult ritual moment.
You literally spelled out like the entire last 5 minutes of the podcast.
That's how you can tell it's like really well written and it's doing good with its foreshadowing.
Literally.
This is what the Game of Thrones writers should have done.
Everyone take notes from KJ.
Yeah, basically, I was like, bam, okay, predicted that, it's fine. Which is good. I mean, if 2 weeks in a row, I guess Jeremy was, Thomas was Shelley's father reveal, and I guessed, that Thomas was gonna come back in the last few minutes of the show reveal, which is what happened. But even though I guessed them, I wasn't disappointed at all. Like, it wasn't like, I saw this coming, like, it's kind of like a letdown. No, it was, both of those moments were climactic as heck. I didn't miss anything by having predicted them. I mean, lots of people predicted Anne and Thomas. Like, it was well laid out, if not earlier, at least by episode 8, and then it was revealed in episode 9. Like, but episode 7 and 8 in particularly a lot of groundwork, but like I said, all of them did. So yeah, that is Bridgewater. Again, I highly recommend you go listen.
Just going through our past conversations about Bridgewater.
Excellent.
And at one point I said, I'm just waiting for Jeremy's nervous breakdown.
Yes, I remember.
It's gonna happen, guys.
He's definitely gonna have several in season 2.
Oh my god, season 2. Okay, I guess that might actually be what I want to end on. Let's do like a roundtable of things that you either want or you think is gonna happen in season 2, if you have any. A wish list / prediction list. I didn't plan this or write anything down, so we're all on equal footing here.
All right.
I should have foreseen that. I was gonna want to ask that, but I didn't, so.
I want them to actually interact with some of the supernatural beings. and maybe we can figure, like, maybe see what they're about. And I hope some of them actually, like, talk to them a little bit more. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, do you think there's gonna be, like, a central mystery that we're trying to solve in season 2?
Well, I think it's part of it's still going to be what the hell happened to Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but, like...
Now we have, like, a bigger piece of evidence that is Thomas.
That is true. I mean, there's also a possibility that Thomas is gonna be, like, in episode 1, be like, oh yeah, here's everything that just happened to me.
Like, there's a possibility, but it would be more interesting if maybe he didn't have everything figured out.
Thomas is still in his, like, 40s or whatever. It's very possible that, like, the night happened where he got sucked into the other side and he's just been, like, in limbo ever since then and nothing's actually happened to him. Like, that is a possibility. Okay, let's talk about how old we think that Thomas is gonna be. Is Thomas gonna be aged appropriately, like 40 years went by, or do you think that Thomas and Jeremy are gonna be, like, around the same age?
I think they're gonna be around the same age.
I think it would be funnier if they were the same age.
I think so too.
Same.
I think it'll be more traumatic for Shelley, who's about to learn that Thomas is her father.
I think it'd be funny if Thomas was, like, maybe a couple years younger than Jeremy.
Once Upon a Time has really ruined that for me.
Yeah.
I don't trust them not to do that. So I feel like that will also be the case, but yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious.
It'll lend something to it if that's the case.
It's like, Dad, when I was your age.
I'll feel sad for Anne if that's the case, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Anne's been waiting for 40 years for them to be reunited. If she's, like, in her, like, 70s now and Thomas is still, like, in his, like, late 30s, early 40s, I'll be sad for her.
Yeah. Hopefully she doesn't mind younger men.
Because
like it's okay, weird. Guys.
I feel like that will make it even worse for Shelley.
That's true, but
if they get back
here's
together.
Here's your dad, but he's like your age.
Here's your dad, pretty much the same age as you, and we're back together.
He wasn't your age when you happened, by the way.
40 years, like 1980 to 2020 is like a adjustment period for Thomas to come back to the real world.
It's one of my favorite tropes when
Me
you
too.
get characters who are just like out of time and they're like, what the hell is this? Well, that's a cell phone. Oh, what? What's a Kardashian?
Oh gosh.
I would like more Katie, I guess. Like Katie, other children, I guess not children, but other gathering members. Like Celeste was kind of like running the gathering. Like what happens to them now? The only other person we like technically meet from the gathering is Katie, but she seems new and like not the person who's gonna take over. So
maybe she'll get character development.
Also, is the door open or is the door closed to the other side?
Also, with Celeste, since you mentioned her, is she going to have the same thing happen to her that happened to Thomas?
Yeah, we don't know. It feels like they might be different because the whole thing with like the door was like they needed someone willing and Celeste was willing, but Thomas just kind of got thrown over the edge in like a melee.
I was scared for a half second that it might take Jeremy, like it might trade Thomas and Jeremy, and then the entire second season would be them trying to find Jeremy and get him back.
That would have been
really
good.
Glad they didn't do that though, because it would have been too repetitive.
That would have been good. I didn't think of this at the time. It would not have allowed me to be correct, but like I could have seen like Anne dying at the end of season 1.
I'm really glad I would have flipped a table.
I'm glad that she didn't die, but I could have seen that happening. You know, like seeing Thomas and then just like dying.
Oh, that would have been the worst.
It would have been the worst. I hope that doesn't happen.
What did she die of? Padme Amidala disease.
I would have said a heart attack. Seeing Thomas come back from the dead after 40 years would have did that for me.
No, that would have sucked.
It would have sucked. I'm glad that so far that's not what's happened.
Yes, unfortunately, she had the same health condition that every woman in a Victor Hugo novel does.
Anne does seem to be very, very healthy for her age.
Yeah.
Like she
does.
Minimum in her 60s, most likely her mid-70s, and she is out hiking every weekend and she's running through the woods at night. For this entire 2 weeks she's out in the woods.
She's keeping up with Jeremy.
Yeah, keeping up with Jeremy, who's 45. I mean, Jeremy is an academic with no friends and nowhere to go. He walks to work some of the time, so at least there's that. He takes care of himself a little bit.
Even pasty academics can work out. I'm just not sure Jeremy does.
Yeah, I mean, what else does Jeremy do, though? I feel like Jeremy is one of those people who, like, listens to NPR and works out, because he doesn't have anything else to do. He doesn't know anybody else.
Jeremy is my future.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the second season. I don't know what I would like to see another, like, thread. It doesn't necessarily have to be Thomas related. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Thomas related.
Well, because we know that there are other people this has happened to.
Yeah, there's other things, and there's other creatures, and there's this whole door aspect. So I don't know, but, like, there definitely needs to be something, or we need to learn something more about the supernatural, like, causes of the Bridgewater Triangle, I think.
Yeah, like, the door has been opened, because I think Thomas was our opening, because he's directly related to, like, the two main characters. But, like, now that we've kind of gotten into this world, we have more opportunities to expand it.
Yeah, and we've had this whole season where it was really interpersonal relationships with Jeremy and Anne and Thomas to, like, get to like the characters. So it would be nice to see if Jeremy's work takes on a different tone, or, you know, Thomas coming back, like, affects, like, the policing in Freetown. Stuff like that.
I want to read his book so badly.
Yeah. Yeah, how does the book turn out?
Where are you in my life? I want a folklore professor.
Do you guys think that time's going to have passed, or do you think we're going to pick up exactly, like, where we left off?
I think it's going to pick up exactly where it left off.
I do as well. I'll be disappointed if we flash forward any significant amount of time.
No, we would miss out on too much plot time.
How are they going to explain Thomas being in the woods? Like, they're going to have to come up with a plausible explanation for that.
I mean, or they could...
No, they're just going to walk into town and be like, hey, Thomas is back.
Yeah, he hasn't aged in 40 years, but it's cool.
Honestly, though, I feel like they could say, like, this is the product of the Bridgewater Triangle, and everyone would be like, so that might actually check out.
That might prompt, like, an E.T. situation, though. And then Thomas is just like, maybe this will be a whole heist situation. We gotta, like, break Thomas out.
That would be, like, a very dramatic...
Maybe they'll just automatically, like, hide him, and they'll just be like, we don't want to freak anyone out, so you're just chilling in the basement for now.
I mean, no one goes to Anne's house except for her grandkids and her daughter and Jeremy, so...
It would be hilarious if they went a completely different route and they were just like, so this is not Thomas, this is the secret love child of Thomas and Anne.
That would be an interesting route to take.
There was a child of Thomas and Anne. Not that one, though.
I feel like Shelley would not do well with that lie. Nope. I feel like she'd be really betrayed.
They wouldn't be lying to her. They'd be lying to the town.
Fair enough.
She's special. She's got main character status.
Either way, we're gonna find out eventually. We don't have a date yet for season 2, but it's probably gonna be around the same time of year, I would imagine, as season 1. So probably late summer.
That's good, because it's
yeah, we don't know for sure though. It could really be any time. They'll have some time to write it and record it and produce it. Like a lot, it takes a lot of work to do those, like, fiction style, especially one with, like, this high quality. And, you know, all these people are really busy. I feel like there's time off built into kind of, like, the traditional TV schedule that, you know, may or may not still exist, but they have, like, breaks between when seasons film and stuff like that, generally the same kind of general time of year. So I feel like they'll probably wait till then to record.
Yeah.
But either way, we're gonna all be tuning in and probably bouncing theories off of each other until then, and while that happens.
It'll be fun.
Thank you all so much for your thoughts and feelings, and for putting up with me texting you like, did you listen yet every Friday for for 2.5 months.
Oh no, same.
Because I really did need to scream about it quite a bit.
It was always the first message I woke up to on Friday mornings.
Yes, love that time change.
I feel like there were a couple times where you texted me and I was like, no, I just barely got out of my 8:30 a.m. class.
I'm like, no, I got up at 9 a.m. and I listened to this thing and it's 9:30 now and I can't believe you haven't listened yet. Meanwhile, 9:30 my time is like 6:30 a.m. Francis's time. So I guess I'll let you guys do your social media. Let's start with Meredith.
All right, I am Meredith, and my social media is Shades of Deianira at Tumblr and Instagram, and if you go there, you will see lots of cool drawings for the fantasy novel I'm writing.
Excellent. And Francis?
I'm on Twitter as Destiel1993, and on TikTok and Instagram as LetItBeLove_93, and I've got lots and lots of supernatural content, and before this episode airs, I'm hoping to have some Bridgewater content, so yay.
And Julia.
Hey, I'm Julia, and my TikTok is at honorary_idjit_67, and I just rant about supernatural all the time.
Excellent. And this was a season wrap on Julia. We will not be seeing Julia until season 2. So thank you for all of the many times you've been a guest so far in season 1.
Thank you for inviting me. It has been so much fun.
And next week, we are going to get back to our recaps with Season 1, Episode 21, Salvation. And yeah, that's it.
I've been KJ. You can find me on all social media platforms at Life Messes of KJ.
Except for TikTok, where you can now find me at SPN Opinions KJ.
If you want to be on the podcast, you can either reach out to me there, or you can reach out through the podcast social media. You can email the podcast. Our email address is supernaturalopinionspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at SPN Opinions Pod. We are Supernatural Opinions Podcast on Facebook and at Supernatural Opinions Pod on Instagram. And if you could subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to this podcast, that really helps people to